All right, yesterday we took a look at calculating sample space from a tree diagram, and today we're going to expand that a little further in doing sample space, but this time using the fundamental counting principle. And we're going to get into what the fundamental counting principle is in just a minute. But first, we've been using this word event, and we need to know what an event is. An event is going to be that outcome from an experiment. And so, for example, tossing a coin results in events of heads or tails. Events are those outcomes. It sounds kind of funny, but that's the way it is. Now, an experiment, which I just used, is going to be that action that is done that results in those events. So, for example, the event is tossing a coin. The experiment is tossing a coin, and the event would be heads or tails of those outcomes. Now, we're going to get into why we use the fundamental counting principle in a little while, but the big thing to know is that our fundamental counting principle is that when you have these options to choose one of something from each category, and so you take the options from each category or the choices from each option, and you multiply them together to get your total number of outcomes. So in thinking that route, we're going to be talking here about some examples of how we use this. So our first problem we have here is how many outfits can be made from 10 shirts, 6 pair of pants, and 12 pair of shoes? If we were to go the route of making a tree diagram, we would already have here shirt 1, shirt 2, shirt 3, shirt 4, shirt 5, shirt 6, shirt 7, shirt 8, shirt 9, and shirt 10. And already you can see that now we have to draw 6 pairs of pants off each of those. It's going to get really big, really fast, and take a really long time. So therefore, I would much rather go a different route. And so the way this works is you're going to first determine the number of outcomes or choices possible for each option. So we have to make a decision here we have to make a shirts decision. We have to make a pants decision, and we have to make a shoe decision to form our outfit. So I say, well, I got 10 shirt choices, I got 6 pants choices, and I got 12 shoe choices. So then what I'm going to do with these numbers is I'm simply going to multiply them together to get your total number of choices. I know that 10 times 6 is going to give me 60. And I know that 6 times 12 gives me 72. So I tack a 0 on there, and we have 720 outfit choices. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to make a tree diagram for that. That's why this fundamental counting principle comes in handy. Moving on to our next example. How many 7-digit phone numbers can you create if the first digit cannot be a 0 or a 1? So now the easiest way to do this is to say, I've got for a 7-digit phone number. You write a 7-digit phone number as 3 numbers dash 4 numbers. So I make out my spaces, and I say, well, how many different options? Now, typically, a digit could be anything from 0 to 9, which is 10 options. However, it says here that the first digit cannot be a 0 or a 1. So that means for this first digit, I have only 8 choices because I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, it doesn't say any restrictions on the other 6 digits, which means that we then have 10 choices for each of these remaining spots. So now what I need to do is I need to multiply together 8 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And so I know that 10 times 10 is 100. So I have here 100 times 100, and I have another here, 100, still times 8. Well, 100 times 100 is 1 with 4 zeros, so that's 10,000 times 100 times 8. So then 10,000 times 100 is a 1 with 6 zeros, and then we have an 8 in the front. So 6 zeros, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put in my commas. I have 8 million different phone numbers that I can get with these restrictions. And you can only imagine if we add in the area code, how that would change. What I want you to do right now is try this problem of how many meals can you create if there are 8 entrees, 4 sides, 5 beverages to choose from. Enter your answer into Edpuzzle, and then you can check your answer when you're done. All right, let's check this answer. I see that when I have my meal, I have to choose from an entree, a side, and I have a beverage. And so I look and say, well, I have for my entree, I have 8 choices, I have 4 side choices, and I have 5 beverage choices. So I'm going to multiply these out. 4 times 5 is 20. And I'm doing it this way because it's easy, it makes your life easier for multiplying. 8 times 2 is 16, add a 0 on the end, so we have 160 meal choices. So your job now is to go ahead and give this You Try problem a shot, enter your answers into Edpuzzle, and bring your questions with you to class tomorrow.